How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with another review, a re-review. I do not do these all that often, but this got tossed to me in the mail from Lagunitas, and I was like, man, did I ever review this before? So I went back in the old archives, and I looked, and I technically reviewed this beer before, but it was a long time ago. I'm at 2,000 and change reviews. I believe this is like 200 and something, and it was actually side by side between this. I have it right here. Where is it? No, I don't. I had it up on my iPad. I don't have it up anymore. Between this and Hop Hunter, maybe? Something like that. It was Sierra Nevada beer. I did like kind of a side-by-side. And, yeah. We're going to dive into this sucker. See what he's got. Let's do that. Yeah, the video is actually one of my more popular beer reviews that I've ever done. I mean, it's been around for a while, so the fact that it's been around for, 3 or 4 years, the longevity of it will get you views, but it's like at 14,000 views or something like that. So I was surprised when I looked it up real quick when I was trying to find out if I did it before that it had that many, because, it's weird that people even watch stuff. Anyway, what do we have here? That'd Be Clear IPA. Can-wise, it's Lagunitas to T. I believe they just started putting this in cans too. I definitely know that the time I did review it a couple years ago, it was in a bottle. And yeah, clear as clear could be. I mean, that is clear IPA. It has that kind of West Coast coloration to it, that kind of amber hue to it. Just off white head, super tight compact bubbles, a little soapy, creamy, even like kind of lacy edge on it already. Looks like old school IPA to me. It's not a bad. Oops, burps. Taking a nose. I'm not getting much here. I remember there being that kind of soft West Coasty vibe on here. At least, I mean, not even soft, more impactful based off of like yesteryear standards of the whole 4 or 5 years ago. Getting a little bit of a like, kind of sweeter malt. I'm getting a little bit of a nondescript kind of bittering. Done. Really not much there in the nose. Absolutely surprised by that. Thought I was going to be a little bit more West Coasty, a little bit more resinous. Let's see what the taste has to offer. Cheers. Yeah, thanks for choosing to spend a few minutes with this fine ale. Yeah. What's the ABV on this? 6.2. So it is really a very gentle, very drinkable kind of West Coast IPA. Pine resinous kind of comes up in the taste, nothing too crazy. It's got a really clean, drinkable mouthfeel. Some people will call it thin. I wouldn't call it thin. I guess it's appropriate for like almost like, I don't even call this an IPA at this point. I call it like a West Coast Pale Ale. It's appropriate with that level of mouthfeel. A little bit soft, kind of slightly biscuity, slightly crackery malt. Combination of those two, that kind of resinous West Coastness that doesn't come up and kind of bite you in the face, but is bitter enough to kind of let you know it's there, while at the same time giving a nice soft dryness off. Done and done. It's just, that's it. There's nothing else to this beer. Not necessarily in a negative way, because I think that's kind of, some beers are meant to be kind of drinking beers, chuggable beers. Transport yourself back 6 years from now. This is a pretty aggressive IPA. Maybe even not. I think maybe even like I keep wanting to call it a pale ale because that's what I think it is. Maybe if I go back 6 years, it is an IPA, but it's kind of in that line. It's the pale ale. So you're in that pale ale, that level of impact, which in today's standards is very, very mild. Hence me kind of wanting to go to the pale ale side of things. But it's well made. There's nothing negative as far as the beer is concerned. It does what it wants to do. It gives you those West Coast vibes, gives you a nice soft kind of malt profile, super clean, drinkable, clear as clear could be. And I think it's a tasty beer. I've never been a huge, gigantic West Coast IPA guy. Even when I was in the beer, up until like the new school hops and the new school varietals and new school kind of ways of doing IPA, not necessarily New England style hazies, but West Coast wasn't my favorite style. And I always appreciated them, and I've grown to have more of an appreciation for them over the past couple of years. And this is kind of the beer that is just still tasty, nice, fine. I'm probably not going to go out and buy a 12-pack of this myself, but if I was at a party and I reached into a big old ice bath and pulled this out, and I would probably go, okay, I'll drink one of these. And I'd be like, you know what, this is pretty damn good. This is pretty damn chuggable, pretty damn drinkable. Or, I'm at, an airport. We're talking about a Heineken product, so the distribution is quite wide. So I'm at an airport or a concert or whatever, and it's very limited as far as beer offerings. And it's like, your typical, your Goose Island, blah, 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 blah. This might be something I'd pick out. Maybe have one or two of over the course of the night. It has enough impact for me to want to be kind of tickle the taste buds, but at the same time drinkable enough to where I could drink a bunch of them. That's where it lies. Yeah, done. Let's talk about it. Is this one of the better IPAs I've had as of late? No. It's barely what myself or anybody would consider an IPA in today's standards. But, if you knock it down to a pale ale range, it still probably wouldn't be in the conversation. But if you were to kind of change the game and say, is this one of the more well-made, traditional, clean, crisp pale ales or IPAs I've had as late, it's probably in the conversation in that one, because that's where I think it belongs. So keep that in mind when you hear me babbling these words. Value and availability, you can get this everywhere. If you can't, that's weird. And leave you with, if you like, and usually pretty damn cheap. I assume you can get a 30 rack, not 30 rack, maybe a 15 rack of this for probably like $15, $16. Lagunitas, love them, hate them, whatever you want to think of them. Their price point has always been on point. And leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like old school West Coast IPAs and you want something that's chuggable, drinkable, and a decent ABV, this is going to do you proper. I mean, it's not a bad beer. It's just not something that I typically kind of gravitate towards when I'm looking for an IPA. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little, Lagunitas right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.